The picking, the grill of this relationship. Hello, I've been lurking for a few days just reading through the stories. So many are very similar, so it'll be nice to share with people who have been through the same ordeal. I was married very young. I was 24, I'm 29 now, and she was 22 at the time. Both of us graduated college and moved on to careers, and we're already looking into things like buying a house, kids, etc. The thing is that I never saw any of the warning signs. She was not distant. She did not withhold bonding, and we were trying new ways to keep it interesting. She did not pick fights. In our 2-year relationship prior to marriage, she gave me no reason not to trust her. Maybe that's why it came out of the blue, because her and the OM had to have been building this for a while without me seeing the signs. The OM was at the time one of my best friends. I actually met her through him. She was invited over by a mutual friend and instantly we hit it off. Of course, the OM and her always stayed in contact due to our circle of friends, but nothing ever that would even constitute flirting, besides the making fun of each other that we all did on a daily basis, which most close social groups seem to do. When things changed was apparently the day my mom died. I live in the Midwest and she lived in Florida at the time. She and my mom were never really close, and she had some important interviews, so I went alone to take care of the estate for a week. Apparently the first night I was away they all got together, drinks were had and they were flirting all night, which ended up with her going back to his place and sealing the deal. I wasn't in a great state mentally when I got home, but even then, her attitude towards me didn't seem to change. And apparently, they began to see each other over long lunch breaks, or instead of going to the gym she was at his house. It was actually the OM that broke it. Over a couple of months apparently the guilt got to him and he confessed, and myself not believing it he sent me a few of their text conversations. With the passing of my mother and this on top of things, I don't even remember being angry. It's like I just shut myself off. So, I decided to confront her. Her reaction still shocks me to this day. I expected her to attempt to make this my fault, but she went overboard. I believe she was deliberately trying to hurt me, make me feel less so she could feel better about herself, saying she loves him more in 3 months than she did in the 2 years. She deserves to be with someone like him. He is bigger and better in the bedroom department, and how she was just settling for me. I exposed her on Facebook, 2017, it was still around. Let her parents know, who were furious with her as they always liked me. After she said those things, I refused to let her stay with me, asked her to leave and that she can pick her things up at a future date. The OM decided to end it with her as well, in which she also took that out on me, saying I was intentionally ruining her future, etc. I didn't even know who she was anymore. I didn't understand why this happened or who this person was. We got an annulment since it was only a couple months in. Thanks to her parents, she didn't fight over anything. I pretty much cut her off completely, but I caught mine that she is starting dating right away, and now is actually engaged. I don't really see the OM anymore either, just a sick feeling I get around him even though he's tried to repair things the best he could. I guess the hardest part is I haven't recovered. It's been 4 years and I'm bitter. I read through sites of women cheating. I live in a bar town and my current roommate, who is the player type, is bringing home women night after night, most of them taken or married. I can't look or even speak with a woman without thinking that she is full of it, is disgusted by me, or wants my roommate. And even when I did, I'm afraid of being intimate with a woman because of the things she said stayed with me. I don't feel like a man anymore. I'm small and useless in bed, so I have no confidence left, and it's been 2 years since I've been with anyone. I've been in and out of jobs for the last few years, seen several therapists, tried medications. I do the things I'm supposed to, like work on myself. I'm in good shape now, but I think my lack of confidence must stick out like a sore thumb since I never get talked to. Yet I can't shake it. The emptiness, the jealousy, the anger, the bitterness. I guess it's good to just get it out. Mostly talk therapy, which I'm not sure if it was that helpful, but maybe it helped to just be able to share my thoughts. Tried to get me to take part in activities that I found enjoyable, like various sports programs, boating, fishing, hiking, just get me back to things that I did for myself. Only tried one medication, which was Paxil, right after it happened, which didn't seem to change all that much. Plus I started having thyroid problems, so they thought it would be best I stay off the medications until they had that sorted out. And honestly, I've never been back on them, and due to my lack of good health insurance currently, my options for continuing therapy and various medications are decently limited to what I can afford out of pocket. I know I need to find a new place. I am constantly exposed to most likely only the shallow side of women with my roommate. But he is my best friend, and over the last 3 years I can't think of one person who had honestly invested more in helping me than this guy. Depression is something I've dealt with since I was honestly single digits in age, so it's nothing new to me. But it's pretty obvious I'm in a very dark depression. I just don't have many days where I look back and think I was happy. Weepy crap, I know, but I'm just hoping if I keep working, I'll find some positive. No reconcile with her. She's engaged and moved off somewhere. Don't care really. I do exercise 4 times a week, doing mostly heavy weight training, although every other day I'll throw in 20 minutes of cardio work as well. Never got too much for results until I started really packing on the whey protein and a heavy protein diet. Now I seem to be adding some lean muscle. Downside of my thyroid is that it's really hard to get a cut midsection when your body loves to retain fat. I think my roommate is making me a little counterproductive in this department. He is a very good-looking guy, worked out for 8 years, and women will literally kiss him if he asks. I've seen it. And this isn't who I am at all. I'm not a one-night stand guy. I'd be happy just to meet someone and have a good discussion about sports or current events. But he does expose me to shallow women who only seem to judge you based on face value. I just hope not all women view men in the shallow ways I hear them talk. I think I might just need a new city as well. I live in a college bar town, and the only thing to do, and the only way to meet people. We all know what you find at bars most of the time. This city is one giant cheater's environment. I didn't question myself after I kicked her out. I somehow in 2 years never saw this side of her. I'm not sure how I missed it. I don't really miss her, but what killed me was just how easy it seemed for her to hurt me, put me down, and make me feel like nothing. What do I like to do? Believe it or not, I am a social person. I like parties, concerts, sporting events. I'm a foodie, traveling, huge Packers and Brewers fan. I play dodgeball at the local YMCA and help run the kids version. I play guitar and am part of a local band. I have no shortage of things to do. Just for whatever reason, there is always something there when I go to sleep and when I wake up. I am glad I didn't buy a house, have kids, and start down that road. Because I'm sure even if this situation was avoided, she would have popped eventually. Confidence is defiantly my problem. The issue is I've never had high confidence, so it's hard to develop what's never been there. Although I do have my moments where for whatever reason I seem to be on my game. I never go hunting for women. I go out with my roommate because I like to go out and play pool, darts, etc. and usually take care of my blacked out roommate by the end of the night. I'm not sure if that would work on me. I have a very open mind for those kind of things, but with my luck all I would uncover is some traumatic alien abduction memory my brain dreamed up. I need to leave the bar life I know, not the right kind of people I want to meet. I do volunteer at the local YMCA. I don't volunteer just for a chance to meet women. I go there because I enjoy playing dodgeball. Some of these older guys take it way too seriously, and then I like teaching kids how to work as a team. One of the problems with Wisconsin is drinking is a huge part of the cultural norm. While some meet at a coffee shop, we meet at a bar to have a beer, for example. Although we have no shortage of coffee shops. One of my passions is trying new beers from various microbreweries, so I doubt that part of me will ever leave. I stay away from the college bars, although the 21 to 23-year-old are impossible to avoid since we have 4 colleges in my city. And I'm not a big fan of kids, and yes, I consider college people still kids. Just look how much I messed up right out of college. I do a lot more in the summer months, opens up the water for recreation, hiking, camping, paintball, softball leagues. I've always liked competitive sports. I ran into her last weekend. I guess she was in town visiting friends. She was by herself at a bar, restaurant, and her fiancé was off somewhere else. She wanted me to stay, to catch up. In all honesty, I didn't want to stay and have her go on about her new life. I don't have any feelings left for her, only the paranoia she left me with. My comment: she betrayed you, insulted you, and did not respect you, the marital relationship. She is gone and you are back with you. That was 4 years ago, and you are still hurt, not recovered from her betrayal. Betrayal is not easy to deal with. They remain until death. The point is you have self-esteem issues. You should deal with this. Story 2. Advancing my life. A little background. Married 7 years, together for an additional 3. We've always had a great relationship, typical ups and downs, etc. About 4 years ago I decided to take my career in a completely new direction. I became a cop. On a side note, best job I ever had, and I should have become one much sooner in life. It's a great feeling to actually help someone. I work the midnight shift a lot. Those familiar with shift work can attest to how draining it is mentally and physically to flip-flop from existing at night when you work to existing at day when you're off, at least if you want to have a semblance of a normal life. I know this job has changed me. I see gut-wrenching, horrible things weekly, but I don't think it has changed me as a husband. I am loving, devoted, and provide for our family. Our problem stems from a serious lack of intimacy. Approximately 3 years ago, my wife apparently went out one night for a girls' night out and ended up kissing another woman at a strip club. She then waited 2 years before telling me. Our first child was already born at this point. Being in my line of work, I didn't, and still don't, believe that a kiss is all that transpired. She didn't think it was a big deal and did not see it as a violation of our marriage vows, at least not the same way I view it. What bothered me the most was knowing that while I am off working to provide for us, she went and did that. I never really let it bother me that much. Between work and our family, my time is pretty well occupied. But I notice now more than ever that we are not being nearly as intimate as I would like. We have slept together once a week occasionally, but more often than not it is every couple of weeks, and it feels like it is a duty more than a pleasure, although she always climaxes. She is a stay-at-home mom, BTW. She almost always denies my advances or makes up excuses. She tells me to be spontaneous, but if I draw up a bubble bath with candles and music, then it is only because I want to get laid according to her. Mind you, she says that semi-jokingly, but I can't help but feel the accusatory undertone. In all of our years together, I initiate 90% of the physical encounters. Hell, on our wedding night, she even told me that she was okay if we didn't sleep together but felt we should since it was our wedding night. And yes, reading that now is sure sending alarm bells off. I try to be romantic with flowers or cooking, but it's usually to no avail. I hate being rejected. As a cop, I'm an alpha male. I don't need to dominate people or women or anything ridiculous like that, but I would be lying if I said that I hate having my drive crushed and that the feeling of rejection is horrible. We've talked about this before, and she just doesn't get it. She doesn't understand what it's like to put a bulletproof vest on and walk out the door, not knowing if I'll be coming home that night to see her or my child again. She doesn't seem to understand that I need our home to be a sanctuary away from all the crazy, stupid stuff I have to deal with. She doesn't understand that calling me up at random hours to complain about the baby not falling asleep or telling me what cat peed where doesn't help, either. I know she needs to vent, and I know as her husband it's my duty to listen and console her. But sometimes I can't talk at work, for obvious reasons, like a call or on my way to a call. And she doesn't understand that there are some nights where I wish I had to just deal with cleaning up cat pee or putting the baby to sleep instead of working the road. Anytime I ask for a massage, she rolls her eyes, sighs, and just maybe will begrudgingly rub my shoulders for 5 minutes, but asking every minute if that is enough. She loves it when I give her random massages all the time, though. According to her, it's always the wrong time, too tired, too late, etc. I don't think she understands just how hurtful it is to ask for something as a physical touch, in a physical manner, and to get rejected or have it appear to be like I am asking a huge favor. There are no surprises, no running outside to give me a hug and kiss if I am on my way home for a dinner break. Only the occasional have a safe night. I can't remember the last time that I thought to myself that I was the one she wanted. It sucks to be the pursuer all of the time. I also know for a while that I was overweight, nothing crazy, but I was carrying some extra luggage around the middle. In the past 5 months, I dropped 50 pounds and got absolutely ripped. I am not bragging, I swear, from 6 feet to 250 to 200. I am in better shape now than when I was 18, and it shows the number of women that hit on me is ridiculous. I mean that in the least conceited sounding way possible, but I'm trying to provide a frame of reference. In other words, I know I look good now, I look great, and she tells me that, but the huge surge in intimacy I expected never happened. She tells me that for half the week she feels like a single mother, and I agree, but it is so hard to hear. If I could go to days to make her happy and get off the night shift, I would, although nights are where the majority of the code calls happen. I hate that she feels that way, and I think she resents me for it. On my days off, I am usually stuck with a long list of things to do, and for the most part I don't mind, nor complain, and I do what I can. But if I just sit around for a few hours and read, watch TV, then it really sets her off. I get the typical I have to do everything myself response. Better yet, if I screw something up, she has no problem laying into about it, even though she knows I never lay into her in a demeaning manner. Yes, I have told her a couple of times that if she is that unhappy, there's the door, but I don't think I was really serious, and she knows it. Now, however, I think I have reached my boiling point. I am just so sick of the lack of physicality our relationship has. Does it make me shallow for wanting more bonding regularly? I don't know. Even when we talk about sleeping together later in the day or something, it's likely to never transpire. She refuses to make time in the day for intimacy. Almost a year later, a few years ago, my wife told me in passing, in front of another one of her friends, that while out at a club with some friends, she made out with another woman. She doesn't think it's a big deal, and she still doesn't. Mainly because it was with another woman. Yet she waited 3 years after the fact to tell me. I told her I thought that was cheating, as to me, being intimate with any other person beside your spouse is my definition of cheating. This other woman, who is married, had her husband there. This couple is involved in the swinger lifestyle. Due to my work schedule, I was not able to go out with them. But I don't like that kind of lifestyle and don't like those people because they are obviously physically loose, so to speak. After that incident and before she told me about it, she would still go out with them. She kept insisting it was a stupid drunken decision, but that nothing more happened. I can't help but question that a lot. If it's just a kiss, why wait to tell me? Why hang out with those people after you did something like that? Why still see them occasionally after you told me? Am I reading into this too far, or did something more than kissing happen? But she tells me only a little bit so that some guilt is assuaged. I asked her how she would feel if I made out with another girl, and she said it's not the same thing, because she didn't make out with another guy. I told her it absolutely was because I am not attracted to men. She still doesn't get it though. This was also during a period of physical intimacy problems. My night shift work schedule led us to lead almost separate lives. When she would get ready to go out, whether with them or not, she would shave, which I also thought odd. She told me it was just part of her getting ready and that she always shaved everything whenever she shaved. Since then, we are both in a much better place in our relationship. We've learned how to communicate openly and how to not hide our feelings. We've come really far. But am I being irrational in thinking something more than a kiss happened? Or are my fears grounded in reality that I don't want to see? She swears on our marriage that they just kissed. I'm having a really hard time believing that, but she is sticking to her story, crying when I think that it was more than that, swearing she would never do anything to hurt me. The funny thing is I'm a cop. I'm skeptical by nature, and not trusting people on their word is part of my job. It is hard for me to come to terms with the idea that she went all the way, so to speak. I want to believe her, but I can't. My home and wife are supposed to be my safe place away from the stresses of the stuff I deal with. Sounds like the consensus is something more happened. And that sucks. I guess the worst part was seeing this couple occasionally after the fact. I felt utterly embarrassed that I was the fool that didn't know. Generally, she always used to shave when going out. I also feel like the husband of VO is a control freak. He has a very strong personality and could sell ice to Eskimos, so to speak. I don't doubt that he has at least tried to beach the subject with her. To address a few of the points raised. Yes, I am still in excellent physical condition. This was done more for the necessities of officer safety and command presence as well as for personal physical well-being. Needless to say, it has provided a major confidence booster, and yes, my wife has seen the stares I get from other women. She will take my hand or make it a point to hug or kiss me when she sees this. Although my actions at home can only be described as a weak male, it is due to the fact that for 12 hours a night I have to be the one I control, making split-second decisions, fighting, driving fast, consciously putting myself in dangerous situations that most people would run from. It became easy to turn that off when I came home or to not be that way with friends or family or my wife. I needed to be that way so the job doesn't control me and take over my life. I needed to be able to come home and turn that off so that I could go back to a normal routine and get out of condition red, orange, so to speak. I'm not stupid. I know you're not inferring that. I know that by her revealing something like that in front of a friend it is a test. It's the same thing as telling your parents you did something wrong with a friend present. You hope the punishment might be mitigated because there is someone else present. And yes, it's easy to be non-confrontational at home with her when my job is based on confrontation almost all night. I made the mistake of assuming that she would not bend to temptation when it presented itself. I made the mistake of not asserting boundaries when this couple first entered our lives. I assumed that she could make a rational, intelligent decision as to the quality of these people as I saw them. That's my error. When I said that I never really let it bother me that much because of work, it's because I didn't have time or the desire to make time, I guess. I wake up at 12, hit the gym at 1 to 2, go home, shower, and get ready for shift. That's been my routine. It was easy to let the lack of intimacy go by the wayside because I started filling that void with the flirtatious of other women who would hit on me at work. While I never pursued that angle, it was the ego boost I needed to deal with a crappy physical life. I focused on work and work only. I stopped caring about our marriage because of the intimacy issues, and we had a roommate relationship for a while. And yes, my job demands skepticism of nearly everyone I come into contact with. Anyone that knows cops know we say there are 3 sides to a story. Yours, theirs, and the truth we have to dig out in the middle. It would have been easy to take that viewpoint when approaching my marriage, but I made the decision not to. I needed to be able to trust my wife implicitly, because I didn't want to think that after all the nastiness I see, something nasty would happen in my own home. Blissfully ignorant, I guess. She does not see the couple in question anymore. I know this for a fact, and I'll leave it at that. She revealed to me that she was molested at an early age by her uncle for a period of 2 years. This came to light a few hours ago. He made her do horrible things. Her family swept it under the rug and she never got counseling. For it, this ex did this to her cousin too, but her cousin received counseling. He is dead now and there is no legal recourse against him, obviously. She has since told me tonight that she has always viewed bonding or dirty acts as a physical thing, and not an emotional or intimate attachment. This does explain, in my mind, why she could kiss, hook up with, whatever with another woman and not really see the problem with it. It does not justify her actions, and it does not lay to rest my fears that something more occurred, but it does provide some clarity, I think. Shaggy, yes, she always invited me out with them, but I never went either because I was tired from work or because, frankly, I don't like them. To be perfectly honest, I don't even remember now how exactly she came about telling me she kissed her. I do know it was almost in passing and very nonchalant. Months later, update on our situation. Things have still been going well between us. She has no drive, so she says, but has been taking an active interest in dealing with that. She stopped because and got an IUD. She has started taking supplements to increase her drive, etc. But here's where it gets tricky. She never hung it with the couple in question again, but we would see them at the gym occasionally. The guy is a trainer and she decided to become a trainer as well, and work for him. She told me about this up front. I told her I was over the past and could handle her working for him. There has been no shadiness nor anything to give me pause, but I saw him at the gym last week and kind of internally snapped. Had to leave the gym because I was afraid I was going to let my anger get the best of me. I contacted her friend who was there, the one who saw the kiss and who she told me about the incident in front of. I asked her specifically what had transpired. Now, her version of events was slightly different. that the girl caressed her cheek, opened her mouth, and went in for a kiss. I confronted my wife later that evening, told her I was having a hell of time believing her story, and asked her to come clean once and for all. She still told me it was just a quick peck on the lips. I told her she was lying, that I had talked with her friend and gotten a different version of events. She still denied what her friend told me, even though her friend had no reason to lie. She again swore up and down that nothing more ever happened. I just wish I could either get over this or get to the truth. Yes, I know it's stupid that she is working for this guy. When I told her how I felt, she got her phone out and began dialing him to quit on the spot. My comment: dude, personally if I was in your place, I would dump her, take my daughter and take things to court to protect her, this toxic family, and be happy with my life. Because it doesn't sound your life is a happy one. And she cheated on you, and this is how she repays you, giving a second chance. Dude, really? For me it's a no-brainer. Seriously,